Sam, by the way, although he's the actor on this, has been to enough of these rodeos that he's familiar with what the director's insight was and what their vision was for this film. So even if you have some questions that are more directorial, he can answer.
By the end of the shoot, I was directing.
All right. So I guess the most obvious one is, you've worked on some high-profile shows like Degrassi
and Just Degrassi.
Okay. You're doing a splatter movie, a splatter horror indie flick. Like, what was that?
Yeah.
What was the casting process like, and what made you want to do this, and what was your experience on it?
Well, my agent originally sent the breakdown along to me with right next to some I don't know if it was some CBC show, some reputable kind of standard thing, and then she sent this afterwards, 5 minutes later. She's like, oh, and also this came through if you want. And I read the script and I was like, this is so absurd, and I don't know what to make of it, so of course I have to do it just because it'll be a different kind of thing to inhabit. So yeah, and then I just Skyped the directors a few times, and they told me later they had a really hard time casting a part and deciding if Thomas, whose head explodes first, was going to be me. But they were like, your upper body's not fit enough, so you're gonna be the new kid, and he's gonna do the job.
So you're gonna be the unlikely survivor guy, or one of the unlikely.
Yeah, exactly.
That makes it deal. Well, that's great. And I was going to ask you obviously about the buckets of blood. What was it like? It looks like you guys were drenched in blood for most of this shoot, especially some of your co-stars.
Yeah, especially people with less clothes.
Yes. And I heard you had a blood cannon or something. Do you want to talk about the experience of just getting bloodied up every day?
These guys called the Blood Brothers. These really kind of rugged Quebec dudes with a big truck and thick accents and all sorts of explosives in their truck and stuff. Came and they built this cannon specifically to replicate the effect of people's heads exploding, and it was designed to shoot blood on us. And it was powerful too. One of them broke their jaw testing it the day before because he was standing behind it and kicked back and broke his face open, so he couldn't really speak for the whole shoot. Yeah, so we did that. That was fun. Everyone hated that.
I just want to Toronto Dark Audience, let's give a big cheer for old school prosthetics and blood work on this film.
The Blood Brothers enjoyed that.
We love real blood here. We don't love the CGI stuff. This is the audience that really appreciates that kind of stuff.
Yeah, for sure. It was fun to work with too. I didn't have to wear an inflatable prosthetic, but when Kenny had on, they were literally blowing into a tube to puff up his head. So
wow, it looks so good.
Yeah, it was easy to work with too because that was pretty much happening right in front of me. It's horrific.
Terrified as anyone.
Yeah.
And I guess the other thing I wanted to ask you was about the inspiration, I guess, for the overall concept of the film. I mean, do you have some insight into? Is it Stefan? I just want to get their names right. Laurence and Sebastien. The two directors, what they
and Edward helped them write it, and then one of the producers, Phil, who got on board later, helped them translate it. Right. Basically, from what I understand, they directed a short film that was kind of like Groundhog Day, but this one was trapped in a basement, and she kept Groundhog Day kind of waking up and trying to escape her captivator, her kidnapper. And then this company, Black Pills, that does the app and the little web series, contacted them. They were like, we want a series that's just as disgusting as that. And so they basically, for the first time, endeavored to write a horror film. And I think they came up with a super catchy concept, I think, for first-time writers. They were first-time horror writers. They were kind of breaking some rules of the genre, but also kind of paying homage to it in a way. And
I think it was really well. This audience, I think, really enjoyed it. But speaking of the audience, have we got some questions here?
First of all, you're looking much better now.
Thank you. A lot of recovery time.
I'm going to beat somebody with a serious question. What's up with the manatee?
The question is about the manatee. I think everybody wants to know.
That is one thing I can read the director's minds, but I think that's in the deepest recesses of their id, the reasons for doing that. They kind of talk around this question every time it comes up, and I can't quite understand. But I did watch Fargo after making this movie, and I realized Marilyn's character, the forest ranger, is heavily based on the lead actress in Fargo's character as well. They're kind of similar, perky cops, rural cops. And I think also in that movie, there's some nature documentary moments. There's some moments where they randomly cut to TV. It's not as abundant as this, but I think it might have had something to do with that. And then, I don't know, they had to write a feature. So I guess they just had some time to kill.
I was actually trying to find out about the manatee, preparing for tonight, and I was just searching interview after interview with the directors. And I think I found one where they kind of teased out that one of them likes nature documentaries growing up, and the manatee is one of his favorite animals. So that's just nice.
There we go.
There we go. But it's really hard. They've been keeping it pretty much a mystery. We got some more questions. Anyone for anything else? Over there?
Yeah, I heard you mention that they translated the script. Was it originally supposed to be in French, or was it they always wanted it to be in English?
So the question is about, was the script translated, was it originally in French and then translated over?
I think they always intended it to be English because they wanted to reach a big market, and because Black Belt, I think, does exclusively English stuff. They might have some French series, actually. I'm not sure. But it's a French
So
concept.
just to recap,
Yeah.
it was a web series that was turned into a film, or how
It's
was it?
going to, right now it's living life as a film,
Right.
and then when it's done doing that, I guess, or whenever Black Belt decides to release it,
Right.
they're gonna release it on an app, a free app, and cut up into 8 episodes, I think it is, 7 episodes. So yeah, you can watch your favorite moments.
And will people be able to play the game of death on their app with their friends?
I wish, right? Also, I just realized, like, does the game have a 3D printer in it, or are those cards, it has a, one, like, 6 different cards in it, and it shoots them up at the end? Like, it's a beautiful machine, whatever it is.
We got some more questions? Anyone want to shout one out if you're near the back?
Over here.
Over there, go.
The girl whose head blew up in the back of the car,
Mm-hmm.
when they're driving down the road afterwards, her body, this it's a bit technical, but her body moves in a very realistic way as
Yeah.
the car is like shaking on the road.
Yeah.
Was that a dummy, or was it the real girl with the head
So
crossed?
the question's about the girl who died in a big splatter at the back of the car, and her movement seemed very realistic.
Yeah, nice eye for detail. I will tell Catherine that her work there paid off, because she was just sitting, she looked like a clown. She had this, like, her hair was up, and there were 2 pieces of, there was a green screen on her face. And yes, that was really her.
Wow.
Just being a body.
So you guys didn't use mannequins, you used real humans.
No, yeah, a lot of real humans.
That's great. Must be very messy afterwards. We got some more? Anybody want to shout one out? I'll be over there. I've got a couple that I've been meaning to ask as well. So the actual board game, let's tell us about the actual game of death. I believe there was someone involved who had a gaming background in designing it. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, I think it was Sebastien, one of the directors. He's like dabbled in game design, or like conceptual game design and stuff before, and he's a huge nerd. Also, they both are like grown up teenagers. So I think that's kind of what drew them to that.
That's fantastic. And do you want to talk also about the 8-bit video game kind of sequences? Because I think those are really awesome too.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a sucker for 8-bit.
Yeah, no, they're just super kind of stylish.
Yeah.
I love that I have a crowbar at one point. I slashed with crowbar because I was a big Half-Life fan as a kid. So yeah, this is one of my dreams realized. But no, that was kind of a surprise for us. It was just like, and then we're gonna kill 15 more people at this point, and it'll be beautiful. And the script changed there a few times, and so I think they just ran with it and kind of improvised.
Right.
And that big corny French banger, the screened at Fantasia, like the director's squad was singing along to that.
Yeah.
I don't know what the deal with that song is, but I've learned to love
Have
it.
you got any Quebecois in the audience that know about the song? Anybody? But you'll have to tell us about it later on.
Nice.
I'm so curious to know. And I guess the other thing I heard, the shoot was really intense, 18 days. Like,
Yeah, but it was like a month. It was pretty constant, and it was almost completely chronological.
right.
So yeah, we really had time to get into it. I started off by just like hanging out with Nick from Sleeping Giant. He's got a super kind of rock star personality.
Right.
He lost his wallet, he lost his clothes there. Like he had a really great time in Montreal when he was there. So I just started off hanging out with him, and just kind of got into the partying spirit.
Right.
And then that came out really awkwardly on camera, and then we started killing people, and the stakes went up, and that's kind of when I like found the character. So it was really fun to work through it in chronological order and just kind of discover what was happening with the character as it happened.
Obviously you guys bonded on this film. Did you find it difficult to then go and murder each other? I mean, you start off as friends.
Yeah, I think I spent a day crying for I don't know what reason, like after we were done the film, just because it was maybe a little bit like traumatic, even in just a physiological, subconscious way. Like after the last day, we were all bruised up and like masochistically proud of it. But yeah, it's hard to say goodbye. And now it's weird and loaded to see them again, Yeah, it's good. It's a great cast. It's a great crew.
We got any more? Anybody want to throw one out? Otherwise, I got a couple of my. Oh yeah, go.
Yeah, wanted to ask, is the character that you play, is he actually psychopathic or just super protective?
I don't think so. I think he just has studied like too much calculus, and and he's just so, I think, like, I get the impression that he runs with fear into this rational, detached place. But when he realizes he's kind of lost the game and his sister's dead, you know, it's like he comes back to Earth for a little bit, just like shockwaves of it. So I wouldn't say he's a bona fide psychopath, but he thinks too much. He needs to get more in touch with his instincts and his maternal energies. That much is clear.
Did you draw on anything into getting into your role? Well, you can't talk about that.
I mean, I practiced with the gun with the Blood Brothers. You're like, he was just watch Crank, man. Just watch Crank 1, Crank 2, and Crank 3, and all the cranks, and you're gonna just. Jason Statham's a beast with that gun, you know, that's how to do it. And I don't think I got to Jason Statham level, but, you know, I thought, like, before doing the jogger scene, I was like, where should I shoot her? So, you know, I put my head into it that way. The incest was weird to do. And, yeah.
I'm not going to go there. we got any more to throw out? Anybody want to do that?
I noticed that the license plate on the pizza car is Ash Live. Was that always meant as like a little niche spoiler for
Oh,
the
the
What
question
does
about
it say? I didn't never looked at the license.
the number plate on the car?
It says Ash Live.
Ash.
Oh!
Ooh, clever.
500 points. Yeah, it's true. That's what happens.
Lots of those
That's what
things,
happens.
just like that. Yeah, I guess we've talked about the manatee. I heard that the filmmakers were inspired also a bit by The Toxic Avenger, which I think we've got some fans of here. You know, Troma and his sort of...
I saw a stage adaptation of Toxic Avenger. I think I hadn't seen the movie, but I saw it on stage.
Yeah,
once, which
that's a
was
pretty
interesting.
splattery film as well.
Yeah, it didn't translate on stage. Yeah, at least splattered. No, but it was good. I liked the campiness and the storyline.
We got a couple more. Anybody want to just throw one out? I think we're about to wrap up. So I'm going to ask you one last thing. Obviously, this film is going to get released. What are you working on next? Where can people see you next time?
They can see me next on stage at the Baby G on November 26th. I'm playing with my electro pop duo called Logi. That is a gibberish word. So November 26th at the Baby G. Yeah, we're playing with some great local acts and a great act from Montreal, believe it or not. And so yeah, I'm focusing kind of on the music and auditioning for Murdoch Mysteries. That's it.
We'll hope to see you on TV and on stage. Thanks very much, Sam.
Thanks so much.